Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, they're great in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Ken, you're on.
Okay, yeah, I was having some weird issues going on, I thought.
No, Ken, the Bear fan, too.
Okay, you can hear me, though?
I can hear you now, but Ken, the Bear fan, is on mute.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Your mic is having issues, sir.
You still get nothing from you. Yep. Well, what's up there, guys?
Ken.
Hey, there we go.
Good morning.
Now we got you.
StreamYard changing stuff up. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Broski. Good morning, Ken. Take two. Good morning, Fred. Oh my goodness. Yeah, StreamYard's been for those who watch podcasts, I'm sure you've heard of some other podcasters. StreamYard likes to do random changes, and I guess this morning I decided to turn my mic off. Because it worked just fine last night, but they do all these weird stuff now, so it's like, okay. Oh, so
What's going on today, fellas?
Doing good. Big question for you guys this morning. Something that we were talking about. I was on driving to the top, open mic last night with JB and a couple other guys. And a question that kind of popped up, there's two. One, we were kind of like starting to talk MVP talk, right? And I guess I'll start there. And with the MVP talk, you're about halfway through, so now you're starting to get some people who, are now going to be contenders, right? So, you've got the normal people. But however, Jonathan Taylor, he popped up. Now, here's a question. Saquon set a pretty big benchmark last year and didn't win it. Is there a chance that Taylor can win the MVP award as a running back in this league?
No chance at all.
I think he's got a shot, but he's got to break records to do it. Because Saquon got close, but didn't break the record, and I think that might have cost him.
The Dickerson record? Because he sat the final game?
Yep.
Offensive player of the year, sure. MVP, I just really don't think so.
Joe, what do you think?
I mean, if ever there was a year.
No, that's not StreamYard. That's just Joe Friesen.
Guess you could argue like maybe Drake May because of the turnaround that New England had. But if you look at it, none of the quarterbacks have really taken over. Daniel Jones, you going to give the MVP to Daniel Jones?
Hey, him or the Ginger Jesus are both Ginger Jesus. Man.
Darnold.
He's in Seattle.
Sure,
Yeah, Darnold.
So, Ken, who are you guys like? Who's the consensus like top players in the running for MVP?
Well, like Darnold's in there because of the year he's having. Oh God, who else? It was all quarterbacks, but I had a dark horse. And I'll go to the dark horse in a minute of guys who could get in there. But Baker was in there, especially for their early season heroics. of course, Matthew Stafford, who's having a great year,
Yeah.
is in there.
Yep.
My dark horse is Caleb Williams, and here's why. It's weird. He's going to be the first Bears quarterback to get the 4,000. He's more than on track for that. TD interception ratio is really, really good. But it's the fourth quarter heroics once again. And the reason I say he's a dark horse and he's building that case, because sometimes the guy who's the MVP does not necessarily have the best stats of the quarterbacks, but he does all these fourth quarter winning drive heroics, and those guys win it at times. So, if there's not a guy who's breaking records and just guys who had really good years, they'll look at guys and say, well, look, this guy, look at Baker and all the come from behind victories early in the year, and what's he continues to do that. Or they'll look at Caleb and say, look at all the way he commands a team and wills them to victory in a victory drive. Those kinds of, that's like that X factor that's not stat driven that wins guys MVP. So, like, you can make an argument for Caleb. Of course, Lions fans want Goff in the argument, and rightfully so, stat-wise. Good TD interception ratio, right? I think Love was in it for a bit, but now, like, the last two games have really hurt him between the fumbles and interceptions and the losses. You don't have to win. Either Lamar proved that. You don't have to be like the best record and blow people away, but you have to do things. And that's where Love's kind of torpedoed himself a little bit in that hunt. But I think it's going to be a quarterback. And there's some interesting names now that are in consideration, like Darnold, who is killing it.
I think if Lamar manages to bring the Ravens back and win that division, he's going to get it again.
Yeah, great point, Joe. Yeah, Lamar.
And that would be hard to argue with if you started 1-5 and your team you come back and your team wins the division. Like, that would be hard to argue with.
Now, however, that division's pretty damn weak. But yes.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying purely on paper. Like, there's no depth to that at all. But
yeah,
if you want a skilled position player who's killing it this year, who's not a quarterback and who's not a running back, Smith and Jigba is putting up sick freaking numbers.
Yeah.
So he'd probably be more offensive player of the year type of thing, but sick season so far.
Yeah. To get an MVP as a receiver, you got to have like 1,600 yards, 1,700 yards, like something crazy.
That's the thing. It's like, because look, you got defensive players who you could make an argument for too. Usually,
And Joe, he's on pace for 2,000 yards.
There are defensive players you can make cases for who just shut offenses down and can change games.
Well,
but
hasn't only two defensive players won MVP in the history?
Hey, bro, he could be on pace for 5,000. It doesn't mean he's going to get it. Like, if at the end, I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying at the end of the season, if he has 2,000, okay. Now he has a real case, I don't think he's
I'm just saying he's not going to get it. He's more like offensive player of the year running like Taylor, in my opinion.
I mean, basically right now, unless you're a quarterback, you have to break a bunch of records. You have to have the best season a wide receiver has ever had in the history of the league, or the best running season as a running back. I mean, because look at Saquon set that bar last year. Saquon dominates the league. He carries the Philadelphia Eagles through the Super Bowl, and Josh Allen wins it. Really?
If I was Saquon, I would be pissed they didn't let me break that record, dude. You busted your ass all season. Yeah, I know.
Supposedly wanted to set.
Yeah,
he was supposedly in on it, but that's what you say when the team made a decision that you don't agree with. Like, let me ask you this: if you were Saquon Barkley and they ran your ass into the freaking dirt all last year, dude, they ran you and ran you and ran you. They worked you like a government mule, right? And then you get 60 yards from breaking the NFL record, where you might actually get some recognition for the season that you just had. And then they say, nah, we want to sit you for the playoffs. You might say, okay, coach, you're in charge, but you're not just sitting there like, no, I thought it was a great decision. And, you're only saying that in the press, bro. Like, come on.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know what Saquon's even happier about? He got a
ring. Yeah, the ring is definitely, but they would have got the ring anyway. Like,
And you know what? Patrick Mahomes, you know, his name will be in the conversation again too. You know, especially if KC rebounds and a certain guy in the panel yesterday thinks KC's going to win out.
Who?
Oh, you don't know him. I don't think you know Dylan, but he thinks that KC is going to win out, and we all looked at him like, yeah, no.
I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I don't think Patrick Mahomes should be an MVP candidate this year. I mean, he most likely will be because
his
it's
name
Patrick
rec gets him
Mahomes.
there. It's his
Yeah,
name
but I
rec.
don't think he should be. I mean, he hasn't had a spectacular season at all.
So I mean, it's well, that's the thing too. It's like you get these guys who put up great numbers, but they don't. Some of these guys will put up numbers, but they don't wow you, right? Especially if your team is winning every game by 20, 30 points. It's like, great, you got great numbers. That's why I bring up guys like Caleb and Baker, and Baker's got better numbers than Caleb usually. You know, even this year, is because of that wow factor of how they win games. Like, because remember, this is the thing, something that's kind of voted on by writers and whatnot. And well, what sticks out? You know, Sam Darnold putting up 4,500 yards and a bunch of great touchdown to reception ratio, but won every game by 20. Or Caleb would say, you know, let's say if the season ended today, you know, Caleb, you know, with the come from behind victories and the Bears wins and the exciting way in which they did it, they're going to remember Caleb more than they're going to remember Darnold, right? And same like with Baker, you're going to remember Baker's last minute heroics to will his team to victory more than Darnold winning by 20.
Yeah, but Ken, with all due respect, Caleb is doing come from behind victories to beat bad teams. Like the Bears haven't beaten a good team yet.
It doesn't.
But he's only completing 60% of his passes.
That doesn't matter. But Broski, that whole team, how good were the teams they beat
absolutely
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It matters how he won the game. The fact that he did what he did matters. You know, oh, that team just happened to not be that good. It doesn't matter. It was a fourth quarter drive, exciting way to end the game. You look at the Cincinnati game, you can say, oh, but Cincinnati, this, that, and the other. Well, the Bears' defense sucks. That's not on Caleb, right? So, I mean,
if you don't win a playoff game,
that good. We know that the margin of victory in the NFL in 70% of the games is one score. So yeah, there are teams that are going to have terrible, shitty records that aren't terrible, shitty teams, but they've got terrible, shitty records because they didn't win the one-score games this year. You see it every year. You see a team that wins a bunch of one-score games. You get to the playoff and they're one and done. And people are like, well, why? They won 14 games because 11 of them were one-score games where they got the ball to bounce their way that day.
And players on those teams typically don't win MVP. Like you have to win a playoff game or two to be considered MVP. I mean, that's
MVP
pretty much how it goes anymore.
Before the playoffs even begins. All that's voted on the regular season, not the playoffs. Have no,
it's not. It's not done before the playoffs because that was the thing the other year with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson was whoever was going to win that playoff game was going to win MVP.
And they gave, I remember Lamar got the MVP. It was like during the divisional round or shortly before the AFC Championship.
You know, we're kind of both right, Broski, right? Because it used to be completely done. Now you're right. It's kind of like they wait till the wild card weekend is done. And then the votes
they do.
And they're not supposed to take playoffs into consideration,
correct.
But they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would say probably a good portion of the guys get their vote in before the playoffs, and then there's the other ones like who get it in the day after that game. Like, oh, well, you don't know, I made my mind before the game yesterday. You know, I mean, there's probably a little bit of both that happen there. Because I think there are some writers who play by the rules. You know what I mean?
I think Baker has a really good
like
case
the Pennsylvania factor, the Philly factor. Oh, voting's done. Oh, let's keep the polls open for another week and keep sending in mail-in ballots. Ha ha ha.
He's not lying.
Baker has a really good case this year, dude. Because even in their losses, he's played. I mean, except the Lions loss, like that game, he didn't play very well. But nobody has 17 perfect games, dude. Mm-hmm. So Baker's brought him back in a lot of games, and even the game that they just lost. It's like I don't know. I think Baker has a really good case as far as quarterbacks go.
He does.
Yeah.
But like I said, sometimes it's not going to be the stats. They're going to look at how these guys are winning games, and they don't care how good the teams they beat. It's more about how they beat them. The stats are good. You got to have a certain probably baseline, right? But I mean, it doesn't matter that you beat, Cleveland 10-7. Yeah, Cleveland sucks, but they have a great defense, right? So I mean, it's some of those things don't really matter as much as it matters as much as how they won. And like, for MVP, we're talking about the MVP here. That's mostly going to be an offensive player. Like if Josh Allen just goes off, but they win every game, by a field goal score type thing, and his defense sucks, and the teams they beat aren't great. But okay, his defense sucks, but look what what did he overcame? His own shitty defense to put up points. So I mean, I get the argument. I just always hate that argument. They're like, well, this team's not good. Let me remind you of this. The Green Bay Packers destroyed the Detroit Lions, who destroyed the Bears, who destroyed the Cowboys, who then tied the Packers, who lost to Cleveland. Any given Sunday is a truism in this league.
That is true, and
Hey, what's
I do
up
like
there,
seeing a lot of
Smoking
new
Dad?
names. I like seeing a lot of new names in the mix for MVP this year too. I think that's exciting, and if you were to go like division by division, I mean, not saying we're going to do it on the show, but it might be a good exercise just to pick like who the MVP so far is of each division. I'm taking Drake May over Josh Allen in that NFC East as far as our AFC East, as far as who's the MVP of that division so far this year.
Broski, I actually got to agree with you there because Josh Allen this year has looked human, and the Bills need him to be superhuman to go out and win.
Yeah, I mean, for this year, we're at this point in the season. I'd agree with that too, because Drake May's getting it done. Drake May isn't doing it in spectacular fashion. He has a lot of great help, but look, this is a team that last year just was horrendous, and now they're 7-2.
I got one for you. I don't think anybody will agree with me, but I think it's so for the NFC West, I would actually say Mac Jones. Like, considering like the fact that the Seahawks are playing really, really well, right? So everyone's going to pick Darnold or they're going to pick Stafford because they're both having really good seasons. But look at the Niners, how injured they are. They've lost their whole pretty much starting defense. And Mac Jones, the way he's been playing with a less than stellar wide receiver core, pretty much just McCaffrey, like, and Kittle being a blocker, like, I would say Mac Jones should be in the conversation if he finishes the season and the Niners make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll give you the argument. I don't think you're going to win the argument, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm not. I told you I don't think any of you will agree, but
I mean,
it
just goes to show you how unique and how like this is a fun season. Like it really is. It's just players coming out of the woodworks, just putting up numbers this year, and guys like Mahomes and everything are having like rather pedestrian seasons. So, it's a good time.
Joe, I'd agree. I mean, look at Joe. I think you make a valid argument, and like if they make the playoffs, I think they have to at least bring his name up at minimum and have that discussion about him. He's earned that. He's definitely earned that discussion right now. And I mean, we could go division by division. In the NFC West, you have 3 candidates possibly, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the NFC South, it's Baker. After Baker, I don't see anyone else in the NFC South I'd even put in the conversation right now.
Yeah, it's Baker alone.
Not for the league, but for the team, I could say Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, but we're talking the league.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to give the guy a little bit of love here.
NFC East,
Offensive Player of the Year for sure. I think.
NFC East is going to be Jalen Hurts.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
If you go to the NFC North, it gets interesting. Because Goff's having good numbers. Caleb is winning games. Like I said, he's becoming a dark horse in this. It gets interesting. Love kind of hurt his own stock the last couple games.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it's only a couple games, so if he turns it around, he can get himself back into it. But you got to start putting points on the board.
Yeah, but we're talking as of today. As of today, those are the two. Like, he's got to get back into it, and really, Minnesota is devoid of that right now, partially because of injuries and everything else.
Yeah.
So right now,
I was going to say. Oh no, go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry, I thought you were finished.
Well, I was going to say, because it's this quarterback driven, and like Jahmyr Gibbs for as good as the season he's having, and look at he's in some rare air in terms of the amount of touchdowns he has for his age, and he's going to break the record before his next birthday. He's going to be the youngest to he'll have the most touchdowns of any player at his age. In his first 4 years in the league, but that's not going to win him an MVP because it's not, that's a career thing, not a season thing. And just like Jonathan Taylor, unless you break Dickerson's record, you're not getting it. So that's why I'm not going to bring Gibbs up.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, shoot myself in the face, but I mean, Goff is completing 74% of his passes. He has 20 passing touchdowns and only 3 interceptions so far this year. I'd have to give it to him for the NFC North so far.
So those are your guys in the North. If you go to the AFC North gets interesting.
Yeah.
Because that division right now it's Lamar in a weird way. It's shaping up that way. But I mean, if you look at the other
I'd say
Rodgers by default.
Yeah, there you go, Joe.
But
I think that's what it is.
But you know what, Lamar? I think
I'm
Lamar
going Joe Flacco. I'm going Joe Flacco.
Flacco, there you go. Flacco.
Yeah, I'd give it to Flacco. Now, you can't discredit Rodgers' games where he's had like 4+ touchdowns like 2 or 3 times this year, but he's also put out some performances that were
Yeah, but that's the thing is if we're talking about right now, like by the end of the season, if like I said, if Baltimore turns it around, Lamar should be in for real MVP. Like, but right now, I kind of have to give it to Rodgers by default or Flacco, like just because of the way Flacco's played for 2 different teams this year.
There you go.
But I'm not so sure that
in that same division,
I would give it to. I'm not so sure I would give it to Jalen Hurts for the East though. Like he doesn't. His numbers aren't anything spectacular.
There's no one else in the East has numbers. That's just like by default.
Dak's got numbers.
Dak's got numbers. Yeah, Dak's having a really good statistical season. They're just not winning.
Well, that's Dak every year. I mean, because that was and that's a valid point, Joe, and that's something that was brought up last night. It's like someone said the same thing. Well, Dak every year has got the numbers. Yeah, but they don't win.
Yeah. Well, those are. I guess we could say those are the 2 names to consider then. Yeah. Hurts and Dak.
The AFC North is kind of a quagmire right now, kind of like maybe the NFC East. The AFC South,
Daniel Jones.
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, those are really the 2 top.
Taylor.
Yeah.
What about the AFC West?
That's another good one, man. That's a real good one.
Herbert. I'm going Justin Herbert.
Dude, I think I have to go Herbert as well.
Yeah.
I think so. You got Herbert, you got Mahomes, and
because like a lot of people say, yeah, but Bo Nix, they're 7-2, but Bo Nix isn't the reason they're winning games. They're winning despite Bo Nix in some cases.
Yeah, you're right, man. He's turning the ball over way too much.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting conversation as we get to the halfway point, but we're starting to see some people emerge and some dark horses starting to make cases for themselves, and we're starting to see some identities for teams. Somewhat, some teams we still don't have the full identity, but we're starting to get a sight picture of what they can look like. There are some surprises, like who would have thought the Bears would be a top 5 offense? To no one. Right, especially in Chicago, we're used to being in the bottom half of that offensive stat. They have and here's the irony: it kind of goes back to the Adam Gase Cutler year in Chicago, where the Bears were top 5 offense and one of the bottom defenses. This is the same thing. The only difference between this team and that team is this team is winning football games, whereas Cutler was having to put up 35 points and they would give up 38. The defense is holding enough where the offense is able to win shootouts.
Going into the season, I thought the Bears had a shot at being a top 10 defense, and then injuries happened. Certain players didn't pan out, and they'll be lucky if they're a top 20 defense by the end of the year.
Well, look at C.J. Gardner-Johnson's made a massive impact. 3 sacks already. Think about that. I mean, dude's the impact he's made. And now you get one more game without him, and then we get Spidey back. And then this might get interesting. And then JJ comes back in December, possibly. That Bears defense could be what you thought it would be, Broski, just a bunch of games later in the season than you thought, which actually, if you think about it as a Bears fan, if this Bears defense gets right in December, when people come back like JJ and Spidey, and all of a sudden that Bears defense gets right, they start finding the quarterback getting pressure right up front because of those guys coming back, this will be a scary team.
Yeah,
How about
hopefully
what
Shamar
if we-
Turner can come back too.
Who?
Shamar Turner, the rookie defensive tackle.
Didn't they put him in an IR for the season?
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, did you see the post game like celebration after the last game for the Bears? Like the look on CJ Gardner's face when Ben Johnson gave him the game ball.
He's been reinvigorated in Chicago for sure. And you know,
Yeah,
and
man.
one thing about that last night, and because people say, "Oh, you know, he's bad in the locker room, this, that, and the other." Okay, you just sat almost half a season out waiting for a team to sign you, and then your old coach comes and says, "Hey, you want to give this one more chance?" And you do. Just the elation that he must be going through, and the understanding that this is probably my last shot.
Yeah. The look
Probably
on his
changes a
face.
guy.
Yeah. That's what it was. Just like elation with like surprise. And he was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Now, the Bears did miss out on Asante Samuel, who is signing with. You guys see that yet?
No.
No.
I read it last night. I was hoping one of you guys remembered so I didn't have to recall it. I believe it was San Francisco signed him. Let me see, because I read the article last night that the Bears missed out.
No, he's signing with the Steelers.
Ooh.
Yep. He's with the Steelers practice squad.
Yeah, that's it. Steelers practice squad. Yeah. Which means, look, you can, this article made this thing like, wow, wait, Eagles put Jair Alexander on the reserve retired list.
Yeah. Alexander stepped away from football because of that knee.
Interesting. But the Bears could still poach him just because he's on the practice squad. He's poachable. He is poachable. But
Yeah, but you gotta assume. Well, I assume here that if teams only gave him a practice squad spot
Yeah.
and not an actual roster spot,
they want to see a little bit more.
there's still some concerns about his health.
So I was thinking an interesting thought experiment. So we went around the league and did like division by division, the MVP of each division, right? But we
Right.
should do the anti MVP for every division, like the biggest flop in every division this year. And we could start with the North. I'm going to say JJ McCarthy.
I think you know what though?
Nice.
But you know what? We laugh, but you know what though? I don't think Joe is wrong. Sorry, Luca and Vikings fans, because of the health. The health, that has to factor. And they had high expectations. He hasn't delivered, and even when he's played, he hasn't. Week 1 heroics against the Bears defense that died in the second half. Okay, minus that, what's he been? Not good.
I was gonna say he played pretty damn good against Detroit.
Okay, so you're 9 weeks in, you have 2 good games.
The health factor, I think, is what does it.
Yeah.
For me,
Anyone
it's not
different in
even.
the North?
It's not even just the health. It's like if you look around the rest of the North, Jordan Love isn't playing very well these last couple games, but he's definitely played better than JJ McCarthy. So, it's like who else are you going to pick? Like, if you're going to pick a non-quarterback, you could pick a non-quarterback.
I'm going to pick a squad. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pick the Bears defensive line. The Bears D line has been the disappointment. When they got Grady Jarrett, you figured that they would be a lot better up front on the run, and in the middle would generate more pressure. Grady Jarrett hasn't done jack this year. He hasn't done jack. Sweat's come on a little bit as of late. Deo is another guy who has disappointed. At the beginning of the year, you thought, okay, maybe he'll be okay, but he was generating a little bit of pressure, making quarterbacks throw the ball uncomfortably, but I don't think he even has a sack. Dexter Gervin was the bright spot of that D line, which is fine because you expect he's a young guy who's been showing up every year, getting better as he goes. But that Bears D line, not even close to what we thought it would be.
Yeah, and I was going to say about McCarthy, he's only completing 53.5% of his passes, and he has more interceptions than touchdowns right now. So, yeah, he's not exactly living up to it.
All right, let's go to the NFC East.
Good topic, Joe.
Give me either Russell Wilson for how bad he was, because they're already talking about that if Dart can't play, they're going to be putting in crab legs. And for shit, give me Jaden Daniels durability.
Yep.
I would give it Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Because there were real
number one,
expectations.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
For sure.
The guy can't stay healthy. What was it, Broski called the point guard? I mean,
I called him a shooting guard. Yeah, NBA shooting guard.
Yeah, when you're 180 pounds for a quarterback, that don't spell good news most of the time.
And this is why I caution people like with the hype trains, like, oh, Jaden Daniels is so much better. We should have drafted Jaden. Yeah, and guess what? Jaden wouldn't have survived his rookie season in Chicago. I mean, that
you might have a major point there, Ken.
Durability is a huge piece of it. And when I look at like that draft class, like Drake May's having a great year so far. So right now, the best two quarterbacks coming out of that draft class are Drake May and Caleb Williams. And you know what? Both guys are durable or have shown durability so far. I don't think Drake May has missed a single game to injury, has he?
I think he might have missed one because I think he got a concussion or something.
A concussion?
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, what up, Jack Wagon? Good morning, Yinzer. I mean, so those two guys, and Bo Nix is kind of, after the hype of last year, like you said, they're winning despite him somewhat in Denver. So that is a big play. So Jaden Daniels definitely is my anti-MVP in the NFC East because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, and I was going to stay on that same team and throw Scary Terry and his injured butt out there because all this smack talk he was doing this offseason, trade me. Okay, you're 30-year-old behind, gets the contract, and then you're so out of shape you pull a hammy or whatever the hell he did, and he's done. So, he's probably a close second for me.
Yeah, he's had a quad injury.
Quad. Yeah.
Of the season. He won't play this Sunday, but they're trying to get him back by week 13 because they have the bye at week 12. So I mean, terrible year for McLaurin for sure.
NFC South.
NFC South.
Penix. Everyone would think it's going to be the NFC South. Yeah.
Penix.
You say Penix?
Yeah. Another kid who was hyped up. Oh, Penix. Because look they started Penix over a guy who's a proven winner, at least in the regular season, right? Who last year, when he started, before he got injured, he put up records in Atlanta. He in his first 6 games, he took he's already in the record books 3 times for the Falcons. And that's
but he also did also get to start this year and look terrible this year.
But still, you started Penix over Kirk Cousins, who is a very good quarterback in this league and has been for a long time. And the expectations was you were going to win this division because Penix was so awesome. Penix has not been awesome. Yeah, he shows you a flashy throw now and then.
Yeah, I was going to say he's shown some major flashes. I would put a lot more stock now into Raheem Mostert kind of being what's dragging them. That's the name of their coach, right?
No,
he's
Raheem Morris.
Morris. Okay, yeah, I got the last
absolutely
name.
Trash. Yeah,
him
and their offensive coordinator, absolute garbage.
But if you look at the rest of the NFC South, no one had any expectations for the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
No one had any expectations for them. There was no one else that had expectations.
I was going to say Bryce Young because Penix is at least better than Bryce Young, and Bryce Young was the first overall pick, and he's thrown for a combined 360 yards in his last 3 games with 1 touchdown and two or three INTs, and he's just complete dog shit.
he also doesn't have nearly the receivers that they have in Atlanta.
No, he's got better receivers actually because they have Drake London, but that's it. And they have a bunch of good young receivers in Carolina, and they actually have a bunch of good young tight ends, and they actually have a couple good running backs and Bryce and a really good O line, as Ken the Packer fan can attest to. Bryce Young garbage.
You know
But
what's
anyway.
funny? But Bryce Young beat the Packers. I don't
Oh,
think
well,
Bryce would beat the Packers.
I would
think
argue and
Rico
say they
Dowdle
won
beat the Packers.
despite Bryce Young.
There you go, Joe.
Yeah.
Rico
But I mean-
Dowdle single-handedly
Yeah.
beat the Packers.
But I mean,
Almost, like honestly,
Yeah, but
11 for
once again,
20.
though, you didn't expect Bryce Young to win the division this year. You expected Penix to win the division.
Well, I expected Baker too, but
Yeah, I was gonna
mean,
say.
But he's talking about
Bryce,
between
Bryce
those
was
two.
11 for 20
between
for
those
102
two, okay.
yards and an interception against the Packers.
Before the season, none of us had Carolina even sniffed in the division. We all had Atlanta in a
Hey, Mitch,
dog.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So I mean,
I wonder why.
I guess at the end of the day, we could change the case for both guys in the NFC South.
Mhm.
That one might be a coin flip, depending on how they finish
Yeah.
out. So
NFC West.
who we got left? We got the NFC. This is gonna be a tougher division, the NFC West.
I don't think it's that
The
tough.
little
Kyler
Keebler
Murray.
elf,
Brock
Kyler
Purdy.
Murray.
I'd say Brock Purdy. He just signed this big contract,
Yeah,
and now
ooh.
you see what I mean, Joe?
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna go with you with
Yeah.
Brock Purdy because it's not even the injury; it's how he was playing before the injury. He looked like dog shit.
And be honest, like Kyler's been Kyler. Like he's been consistently what he is. He's been really good some days, kind of iffy other days. But Brock Purdy, you couldn't sign that big contract and you start playing like dog shit, and then you get yourself injured, and now maybe you lose your starting job to Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm. I'd give it to Mac Jones if I'm Shanahan
Yeah.
because I think he's played a hell of a lot better in that offense.
What do you think, Broski? Is Purdy the anti-MVP in the NFC West?
I mean, honestly, it's him and Kyler Murray. Like, one of those two, I have no problem giving it to either one.
All right, let's go to the AFC West, seeing as we're in the West.
Geno Smith.
Gino, all day, every day.
Look, it's like Joe's been sitting there waiting. Like Joe said, "Hey, let's do this exercise." He was just waiting for us at AFC West, so you yell, "Geno Smith." Okay, moving on.
You're not lying, dude. You're
Yeah,
not lying.
Joe is
Moving
all
on
about
to
the
the AFC
anti-MVP and offered JJ McCarthy up right away. I love that, Joe. Shout out, Joe.
Moving to the AFC South.
See, that we don't even need to discuss the AFC West. Everybody's just unanimous.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Next,
AFC South.
I mean, I could throw a Genty out there. But I'm not gonna do it.
Whoa.
Hey,
Now
you can't
we will
forget
have an
Purdy,
argument.
or you can't. I mean, you can't forget the golden jacket tight end who hasn't done anything this year.
Oh,
Well, he was hurt.
Hey, Ken, I wouldn't say anything about Brock, but hey, Joe, what's your famous line again?
Oh man, I feel bad though because I'm 2 for 2. I don't want to make any more.
Come on, make it 3 for 3.
I don't want to
Come on.
shatter anybody's dreams, man.
No, hey, you did it to me, do it to them.
All right, let's go AFC South.
I'm gonna say it's the whole Houston's offense. Like I know that the Titans are the easy answer, but for me, like I expected CJ Stroud and the Texans to be better than they are this year. I figured last year was a down year, but they've just like defensively, they're a good team, but offensively, they're atrocious.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud because like the Titans, we expected them to suck. Cam Ward's a rookie, you didn't expect him to blow the cover off it right away. We knew they were a team with issues, but CJ Stroud, living off the hype of his rookie season, is still living off the hype of his rookie season, and it shows.
Yeah. I don't know if I can really pick on CJ that much.
That's why I picked
know
the
who I
whole
was gonna
offense.
go
'Cause
with?
I don't think it's CJ's fault.
Yeah, you can, Broski. Feel good too about it.
I mean, he's 66% completion, 11 touch, 5. You know who I'm going to go with? Honestly, I'm going to go with the one of the biggest busts ever drafted in the history of the NFL, Travis Hunter. Thank you. Travis Hunter is just a freaking Trash draft pick. He was such a swing and a miss. I'm not
I
even
don't know,
kidding.
because that team changed when he got injured. They felt it big time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I almost want to throw that whole division in there, other than the Colts. Just put them in a blender.
All right, what about the AFC East? This one could get interesting. It could get spicy too. AFC East.
Mm. You know, one of the guys I'm gonna offer up, and he might not be the best answer. That freaking bum ass wide receiver on the Bills, was it Coleman or what the hell is his name?
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, he's a bum.
You know, I'm actually kind of there with you now, Broski, because I really liked him from last year. He looked great to start the year and has just been sucking it up since. And I'm hearing even a lot of Bills fans starting
He
to turn up.
overachieved last year, I think, for where he was drafted. But you know what? I'm going to stay on that team, and I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to say Josh Allen right now. Because
I was going to say the same thing.
Because Josh Allen, you look at the last week's game, oh my God, he was horrendous. If you look at some of these games where they've lost, Josh Allen has not been Josh Allen. And when you're at such a high level and you play like he's been playing, it's like, dude, get ready to throw Mitch in there. I mean, I know that's never going to happen.
How are we going to say this?
But I mean, dude, if it was any other quarterback, they would be having that conversation. If it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? If he didn't have the long track record and history of being Superman in Buffalo, there would be a conversation of Buffalo right now about maybe Josh Allen needs to take a seat.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
For me, that's an easy answer because the Bills had so much expectations going into this year. They were looked at like a Super Bowl contender, especially with Kansas City being, sort of vulnerable. Like everybody was thinking this is the year, and to go out and get just absolutely boat raced by the Dolphins. And
the thing is, it's not like you can just blame Keon Coleman because he's actually not having a terrible year. He still made some really pretty catches. He made one even this last week. He wasn't a number one receiver drafted. He wasn't when they get him in the third round or something like that. I mean, you got to love Keon because of his personality. His play has been pretty good. He probably overachieved a little bit last year, but I mean, Josh Allen just isn't getting it done right now for Buffalo. And look, he's the same guy that you can turn around the same breath and say that this guy could be MVP again this year, especially coming off an MVP season to play the way he's playing. And he could still be MVP this year if he puts on the Superman cape and they win out or do something crazy.
That I actually think would be a very good case for him being MVP if he turns it on and puts on that Superman cape. He goes out and says, look at what the Buffalo Bills are when I don't play like the fucking Messiah.
Yeah, and that's what so it sounds weird because you think, oh, it should be some guy who's like, but no,
Justin Fields,
he's that guy. He's a reigning MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He's a reigning
Joe,
MVP.
That's it. Joe's got the right answer.
What?
It's Justin Fields. Oh, my God.
No, I don't think it's just
4 yards passing. Let's go.
I don't think it's Justin Fields though, because the Jets didn't have any expectations.
Nope.
Yeah,
they did have expectations because I heard people saying that they could have been number 2 in that division this year.
Well, you know
what?
Here's the funny
that.
thing about Justin.
Justin Fields winner.
He's won his last 2 games. You can't say that about Josh.
Yeah, but how were those games before the last 2?
But no. I think though. Look, I mean,
54 yards passing in a win because you have 2 kickoff returns.
I think you could throw that entire Jets team in there for that. Then the whole organization. But I mean, I'm going to stick with Josh Allen just because you're the main MVP and you just got dog walked by Miami, and he has not looked like Josh Allen this year.
And you're not even first in your own division.
No,
which at the beginning of the season was looked at as like a foregone conclusion that the Bills were going to take that division.
Right now, you might be looking on the outside in the playoff picture, even if you're the Bills. They're pretty close to it.
They're the 7th seed right now.
Yeah, you're hanging on for dear life. I mean, it's like, really? So, all right, here comes now the biggest quagmire of all. A division we all thought was going to be really, 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 really good. The AFC North.
This one is
Biggest
hard though.
disappointment.
No,
Joe
I
Burrow.
got it.
Joe Burrow.
No, not even that. I got it. It's the Steelers' fucking defense as a whole. They got paid
Ooh.
all this money and have sucked the camel's cock the whole season.
Oh.
Burrow,
Oh.
you can't make the guy the anti-MVP for being season-ending injury. That's kind of a
Yeah,
that's
if
kind
it happens every year, you sure can. Joe Burrow, lock it in.
Or whoever's designing that offensive line out
Yeah.
there in Cincy.
the lack of protection in Cincy. That that's
It's a tough one.
I mean, the
There's a lot
Steelers
of candidates for the AFC North, dude. There's a
Yeah.
lot of candidates.
because
you
you look
know?
at the Ravens and you're like, well, what are their woes? Well, it was all injuries, and now these guys are coming back and they're destroying everyone. So like, oh wait, well they're ascending. So okay, then you look at the Steelers, like, well, they're winning. They've won a game or two because of the defense, and they win a game or two because of the offense. It's like they're the quandary team, like who should run away with it, but just can't run away with it. And they're keeping the Bengals around, who have Joe Flacco now as quarterback. And my God, he's putting up numbers for them. I mean, yeah, the Steelers' defense, because if their defense was their defense, they'd be running away with this division.
I would say, but I don't know if I would blame the whole defense. Like I'm personally picking TJ Watt because he's been very quiet and very pedestrian this year
Yeah.
compared to his normal years. And you would think like this is the year you finally have a quarterback who, I'm not going to sit here and say Aaron Rodgers is old Aaron Rodgers, but like he's better than what you've had for the last how many years since Rapist Burger. And I mean,
All right, well, let
Did you just say what I think you said?
Oh,
I did.
absolutely.
I
And
did.
I'm
Ben-
fucking here
Look,
for it.
I'm just going to put it out there. Ben Roethlisberger has as many rapes as rings, and that's facts.
Fucking go for the win.
good morning football.
Oh.
That's a spicy meat the ball.
So speaking of spicy and meat to balls, because I did name the show that this morning for people on YouTube and other places. Is there trouble in Green Bay? I want to go there this morning. You touched on it
Yes.
yesterday.
I'm
Is there
glad you're
trouble
going there too, Ken. Really glad.
The only one
Yes.
who's not glad is Ken, because you can look at his face like, you motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
And they're
Is
saying, you know what they're saying? Jackson Dart might actually play this week or Sunday.
From what
Not this week,
From
Sunday.
what
I'm
Yeah.
hearing, it's going to be Crab Legs that's playing.
Either
That's still
way,
not a
I
walkover.
think it's going to be a dogfight of a game. I really do. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win. I'm not. I'm just saying I think it's going to be a tough game. That's all I'm saying.
Unfortunately, now that I know Jenkins is going to be gone for a while, and with Sean Ryan absolutely getting the start,
Yeah.
I unfortunately think that this one will be a dogfight too.
I
Famous
think the
Jameis.
line. What's the line on this game? I think the Vegas has
8.5. It was 8.5.
Yeah,
Home dogs. Damn. You mean the Giants in the 8.5?
Right now the line is 7.
you know,
to the
Broski, I
Packers.
used to like you.
Right now it's the Packers. Right now it's actually the Packers being on the road. It's in New York, and the Packers are 7-point favorites on the road.
No, okay.
But is there look if I think that the old line for Green Bay is their point of failure right now. If we see Love not be able to move the ball because of that, they're on them and sacks and receivers can't catch with the dropsies they seem to have, and he can't find Dobbs' big ass freaking helmet that you can see from Mars.
Well,
and they
it
lose
doesn't
this
matter
game.
if he can see it. Dobbs is dropping shit again. So
Yeah. So I mean, this is going to be, is there problems in Green Bay? Like, is Green Bay good? I'm not saying they're doing a death spiral by any stretch of the means, but you look at this season, and yeah, they were in first place until Monday night, but they were in first place because they tied Dallas, the team they should have beat.
Yeah.
They've
You know what
lost.
I'm going to say to that, Ken? I'm going to say, let's see how they play this Sunday. Let's see how they come out. Because if they come out and just completely just dismantle, destroy the Giants, and it's not even close from the beginning, okay, maybe it's not an issue in Green Bay. If it's even a close game and it comes out to the end, I think there's problems. I do.
You know what, Broski? I'll actually agree with you on that.
Because, like, I look at them and, like, the Lions game in week 1, you almost have to throw it away. I mean, it still counts as a win, yes, but, dude, you look at that Lions team in week 1 compared to the Lions team now, completely different football team. Completely different football team, right? And then you look at the games more recently for the Packers. It's like, dude, first off, you're on a 2-game losing streak, which I can't remember the last time. Well, last year it was, actually, but for the most part, like, it's a rare air for them. And then you look at some of their victories, it's like, But think about some of the teams they've lost to, or look at, you lose to Cleveland, you tie the boys, the rating system. You lose to the Vikings. You lose.
No, we didn't lose to the Vikings.
Or no, that was Detroit. I'm sorry. You lose to Carolina. Now, look, you just lost on Monday night in a very hard-fought game against a team with a good record in Philly, but this is not last year's Philly. They're a very beatable team by almost any team in the NFC right now. They just happen to be getting those one-score wins, right?
You barely got out of Arizona with a win.
Yeah.
Barely.
And
let's give credit where it's due. Jacoby Brissett played his ass off in that game. Yeah. But the fact is the fact. You guys barely got out of that game with a win.
Every team that's played Arizona this year has barely got out with a win.
True.
Yeah, and who are the 2 teams the Giants have beat this year? The Eagles and the Chargers.
Yeah,
the Chargers.
Damn
2
good
pretty
teams.
good teams, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at New York's got a bad record, but part of their problem was probably what they fired in Dable, because they should have beat Denver.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then part of their problem, well, I think it's just Dable, because even the games they lost for the most part were close. Look, even that Bears game, it took a miracle. It took a Caleb miracle in the fourth quarter to pull it out, because Dart and that defense, that defense is freaking good. And then you look at what's troubling for Green Bay this weekend. It almost doesn't matter who the starting quarterback is. History is not on their side. Of 100 coaches that have taken over a team during a season, their record is 80-20.
Yeah,
80% chance. That's an 80% win rate for these coaches who become. So you've got that. Then you've got that defense. The defense coordinator is still there calling plays. Dable is working the offense. Usually when you get a new offensive coordinator, look at for the Bears last year, what happened when we got a new offensive coordinator? That offense looked a lot better. Does it mean, now look at that was Caleb was still there, all that. Now if Dart's not there, I don't know what that means, but if it's Winston, I'm more comfortable than I am if it's Russ. But however, let's not forget Russ has still got that capability within him to have a good game, like he lit up Dallas. So I mean, he hasn't played well the last 2 years, but he still has his moments.
I don't know, man. Like, when you get to the very, very bottom of a tube of toothpaste and you like roll it all the way up to squeeze that last little bit out. I think that Dallas game was Russ's last little bit of the toothpaste, dude.
Maybe.
Yep.
But I mean, so this game is going to be interesting. Like, look at, I think like even before Dable got fired, I think 2 weeks ago, when you looked ahead of the schedule, you're like, Packers, Giants, Packers. You didn't give it a second thought. Now you have to give it a second thought because of what's transpired over the last 2 weeks.
And I'm going to go ahead and say I think that there is problems in Green Bay, even if they do beat the Giants, which people expect them to do. But I'm not talking about locker room problems. I'm talking about like you've lost some very key players on that offense. Like now you're starting Sean Ryan at center, right? And Jenkins is going to be out for a while, and you can't even switch Zach Tom to center because then the guy that you're putting in at right tackle is even worse than Sean Ryan.
And
so
Zach Tom has never been a center either, which is like he's their best offensive lineman, but I don't think he's ever played center
I think he played it in college.
No, he was a tackle in college or a
Yeah,
guard
yeah.
in college.
There was a lot of talk leading into this offseason there from multiple different people around the league saying that they think if Zach Tom got switched to center, he'd be an all-pro center. But I didn't want to move him off from tackle because I think right tackle's more important than center personally.
Is it though? Center is who's calling out all your protections. Like, he's the
Yeah.
one who's responsible for your quarterback's protection. Like,
Yeah, yes and no, because we have seen quarterbacks go up and just completely wipe the center out of that part of it.
Okay.
It's the
Here's
quarterback
the Zach.
wiping out.
I grokked it. I grokked it. Shout out to Grok. Grok is freaking phenomenal. It didn't, and it searches a lot of crap. And yes, Zach Tom has played center. You ready for this one? Zach Tom has played center during the Green Bay Packers 2022 training camp. That's it. During camp in 22, he has never appeared as a center in any game ever.
yeah, but getting a whole training camp as a center at an NFL team is, that's nothing to scoff at.
Well,
like,
he did
it's
do
not
it.
nothing.
He cross-trained. He played every position on the O-line in 22 in
Mhm.
camp to get, cross-trained. That's good. And look at Zach Tom. I think Zach Tom's a phenomenal offensive lineman. And if he's probably one of the very few guys I would probably say could probably play every position on the line to include center. But now if you got him at center, you have no one at the guards or the tackles. I mean, you're taking your best lineman. And
I would actually trust Kennard at tackle more than I trust Sean Ryan at center.
okay.
But I still don't want to pull Tom off of being a tackle. I think that's his bread and butter.
If Green Bay loses this weekend, what's the ramifications in Green Bay? Does the LaFleur seat start to get warm?
You start hearing cocking in the distance, and you see gas cans lined up outside of Lambeau.
Because if you look at that's this week, if we go to week 12,
But there is one major thing nobody has taken account for yet. Toyotathon starts Saturday. Toyotathon, Jordan Love.
Yeah, I know, but
Hey,
I don't even think Toyotathon can save him at this point.
hey, he's done it 2 years in a row during it. Let's see if it goes for 3.
look, if the Packers lose, then next week you get the 4-6 Vikings at the 5-4-1 Packers. And let's say that game's a dogfight. And
I mean,
God forbid
divisional
the Vikings win that game, and the Packers are on a 4-game losing streak, and I don't see this happening, but if it did, I think LaFleur's got to be worried about his job at that point.
Absolutely.
And if you come out and let's say you lose this week and you beat the Vikings on a last-minute field goal, I think he's still worrying about his job.
Mm-hmm. And then every cardiac doctor here in Oswego County is going to be on the lookout for me coming in with a stroke, an aneurysm, a heart attack, something.
Because if you think about it, this is how it could be bad, and we're almost out of time. I wish we'd have started this earlier, but look it. You lose to the Giants this week, and then let's say you get the Vikings, and guess what comes into your house right after the Vikings? You get 2 games in 3 weeks with Chicago. I can't remember who your middle game is in between there. I mean, if they go on the wheels start coming off in Green Bay, then they might be looking for a new head coach in the offseason.
Oh, absolutely.
Something to ponder as we get into tomorrow and we talk about Thursday Night Football tomorrow and the Week 10 matchups in more depth this weekend before we do our pick'ems on Friday. Guys, we're out of time again today. JB is next. Make sure you join. We have MMA today at 2 p.m. Central, 3 on the East. I'll set that up right after the show, guys. For Rumble. Don't forget you can catch us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. Right now, the Huddle app on the TV is down. That's a StreamYard issue, not an us issue. We're working on it. But make sure you guys come back here tomorrow. Don't forget House Hall tonight as well. Plus, we have Red Zone Rant and JB's Roundtable this evening as well after Hallis. But we'll see you back here tomorrow morning, guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. Bear down.
Go Pack, go, hopefully.